Ever felt the presence of something unexplainable? Stay tuned to uncover chilling tales from others who have. I remember the day we moved into that house. It was a simple 2-story home, nothing grand, tucked away in a quiet neighborhood. My wife loved the garden, and my 2 kids claimed their rooms before we'd even finished unpacking. Everything felt normal, ordinary. It was our dream home. But the first odd thing happened within days. I had just finished setting up my tools in the garage when I heard faint footsteps overhead, soft, deliberate, as though someone was walking right above me. I froze. My wife wasn't home, and the kids were at school. I dashed upstairs, but of course I found nothing. I told myself it was the pipes, maybe the house settling. Then it escalated. My daughter Lily woke up screaming one night. She claimed someone had sat at the edge of her bed. She described it as a light touch on her feet, comforting, not threatening. I dismissed it as a dream, but when it happened again to my son, Alex, I couldn't ignore it anymore. We started hearing strange noises, soft humming in empty rooms, the faint clatter of objects falling when no one was there. The strangest of all was the temperature shifts. Some nights, the house would feel bone-chillingly cold in specific spots, like the corner of the living room or by the staircase. Other times, we'd feel a sudden warmth in moments of unease, as though someone draped a blanket over us. It was bizarre. That's when I decided to call in a paranormal team, not out of fear, but out of curiosity. If something was here, I needed to know what. The team, 2 investigators and a tech specialist, arrived a week later. They brought everything. Cameras, temperature gauges, EVP recorders, the works. The first night they stayed over, things ramped up. Unexplained thuds echoed from the attic. The team caught temperature drops as low as 10 degrees Celsius in random spots, and at one point they heard faint whispers through their audio recordings. But despite all of this, one thing stood out. There was no sense of malice. On the contrary, the team reported feeling a strange warmth at times, like someone was watching over us. The turning point came when their equipment captured something extraordinary. During an overnight session, a thermal camera recorded a faint outline of what appeared to be a person standing near the kids' bedroom doors. The figure didn't move aggressively. It simply stood there, almost guarding. That same night, the tech specialist picked up a clear EVP, a faint voice whispering 2 words, "They're safe." I didn't know what to make of it, relief or disbelief. One of the investigators turned to me and said, "I don't think this is something to fear. I think it's a protector." The next few days were spent digging into the house's history. It turns out the home once belonged to a woman named Margaret Lane. She had lived there alone for decades, and according to records, she had fostered many children throughout her life. She passed away quietly in her sleep right here in the house. The locals described her as kind, a mother to everyone who needed one. It clicked. Margaret wasn't haunting us, she was protecting us. The children's stories made sense now. It explained the gentle touch on their feet, the whispers of safety, and that odd warmth we'd felt when things were unsettling. The paranormal team decided to document how Margaret showed her presence in protective ways. They set up cameras in key areas, and over the next week, we caught more evidence. One morning, a kitchen knife that had been teetering on the edge of the counter suddenly slid back as though pushed away, moments before my son ran in to grab something. Another time, the kids' bedroom window, which had been left open during a storm, slammed shut, just as the wind was about to rip the curtains from the frame. But it wasn't all dramatic. The most touching moment came when we left a small thank you note on the dining room table for Margaret. A simple, "Thank you for watching over us." That night, the thermal camera caught a faint, warm presence hovering near the note for several minutes before fading away. By the time the investigation concluded, the team was convinced. Margaret wasn't some restless spirit. She was a guardian. I'd always thought ghosts were something to be feared, but Margaret changed that for us. Her presence brought comfort. In some strange way, we felt safer knowing she was there. The investigators left us with their findings and advice. Respect the unseen forces, because not everything that lingers is malevolent. Sometimes they're just looking out for us. Margaret was proof of that. Even now, when my kids feel an unexpected warmth on a cold night, or I hear faint footsteps upstairs, I don't rush to investigate anymore. I simply smile and say, "Thank you, Margaret." If you've ever felt a comforting presence like this, share your experience. Who knows? You might not be alone after all.
If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thank you for tuning in to Ghostly Echoes. Until next time.